The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has the potential to be one of the worst Zelda games ever made. So grab yourself a bottle of water and some seaweed crackers, and let's begin. There are only 93 days left until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and so far in the trailers that we have been shown, there's rarely any gameplay, if any at all, only cutscenes. Which does raise the question, Nintendo, why have you not released any gameplay? What are you hiding? Not only that, in the graphics department, the game does not look like an improvement over Breath of the Wild. If anything, it just looks like an expansion. Right now you must be thinking, but Moco Pizza, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were two different games with two different stories and varying gameplay elements, despite looking the same. And to that I say, yes, you're right. However, unlike Majora's Mask, it had a different map and different locations. In Breath of the Wild, we had a huge empty map, and from the trailers that have been shown, it looks like we're going to be coming back to those same places with Tears of the Kingdom, with the same enemies, but perhaps a few more added into the formula to make it look fresh, even though the game might not be fresh at all, unlike Majora's Mask. One thing that Tears of the Kingdom and Majora's Mask do have in common is their price point. Upon release, Majora's Mask went for $70 US. And well, as you all have seen, the pre-orders for Tears of the Kingdom happen to be at $70 as well. So, wow. One of the reasons why Majora's Mask will always be a better game is because of its contents outside of the game. And by that I mean the box that it came with. A beautiful paper box that if it were to get wet, you will no longer have a box. An instructional booklet that had pictures that were pretty cool. And it also had some instructions. And most importantly, the golden cartridge. That cartridge is one of my favorite cartridges that exist in this world. And if you happen to have the Japanese version, I'm sorry that George does not move. But yeah, oh my god, that golden cartridge is everything. Something that I know Tears of the Kingdom will not be able to do. Since nowadays Switch games only come with like the Switch cartridge and really ugly art with nothing inside. Wow. Let's play a game. I want you to tell me your top 3 Breath of the Wild songs right now, not counting Ganon's Castle. I'll give you 5 seconds, okay? Go. See what I mean? There's just not a lot of songs that one can enjoy in Breath of the Wild, unlike the previous entries which have iconic songs like the Stone Tower Temple or the Forest Temple with Adult Link in Ocarina of Time. If Tears of the Kingdom follows the same formula for the music, it's going to be a snooze fest, except for a few songs. But still, I am not super optimistic about the music, since I'm thinking that they're just going to recycle most of the formula, just as how they're recycling the original map again. The boring, empty map. And you know what's going to be even worse than that? The Korok Seed quest, which I'm sure it will make its reappearance once again. Instead of 900 seeds, perhaps now it'll be 10,000. I have a confession to make. I used the item duplication glitch to get all 900 Korok Seeds. And you know what I felt in the end when I got the last one? And got the reward for it? I felt robbed. Robbed of my time for having wasted 2.5 hours duplicating each Korok Seed only to get that yellow poop. It was not a fun experience, and I am sure that Nintendo will recycle that same joke only to waste our time and to focus less time on actual development of temples or fun places, just so they can be like, haha, we got 10,000 Korok seeds for you all now. I hope you all enjoy them, only to get nothing in the end. Watch the game have that feature. One of the things that makes me hopeful about Tears of the Kingdom is how the story might just progress. One of the things I hated in Breath of the Wild was all the flashbacks within the game, and barely any cutscenes post flashbacks, which was boring. So hopefully with this Tears of the Kingdom game, there might be an actual story. But the only thing that I now don't like about the new game is how now Zelda is also in trouble. Kinda like with the Mario Odyssey where Peach always gets kidnapped. You're telling me that after saving Zelda, she is now kidnapped again? Or she falls somewhere and now you have to go rescue her by collecting a bunch of useless items to sink your time into? Hopefully that's not the case, but if it is, again, Nintendo does not know how to innovate. The only thing they want to innovate now is their consoles, not their software, which is a shame. Since Nintendo does not like to spend much money on voice acting besides on their main cast, I know for a fact that unlike Skyrim, which has developed NPCs for all the towns and cities within the game, Nintendo once again will not invest much on NPCs with voice acting in the many towns or castles that could be found in Tears of the Kingdom, which is just gonna take the immersion away from the game again. And just to confirm, none of the trailers ever showed Link talking to anyone, not even Beetle, which does make the case for, once again, another copy and paste job from Nintendo, since they're too lazy to innovate on their own franchise. And rather than taking risks, they just want to do the safe route, knowing that the fans are going to buy the game regardless, which is the following topic that I am going to talk about. To me personally, I don't care about sales of a game. I only care that I like it and that I know others enjoy it as well, because it makes for a fun topic to talk about. Look at Earthbound. Its sales were awful, but only recently, in the last decade, the game became mainstream. So basically, even though Tears of the Kingdom will sell awesomely, it could still be a really awful game, which is the topic of the video. So before you say, but Moco Pizza, the game sold this many copies, I'm still gonna be like, yes, but the game is still bad. Just because a game is selling well doesn't mean that the game is good. It just means that its fans are brainwashed into buying 2 copies of a game when they just need one. I'm looking at you, Pokemon. Yeah, hopefully the game is good, but seeing the record of Nintendo so far, well, they did release the Mario Party Superstars, which was good, but then again, that's just a remake, not a new original IP. There's just not much hope for Nintendo. And with how scared they are of releasing footage of actual gameplay, I want you to look up Skyrim trailer and compare it to this one. You're gonna see just how much more content they show, and they're not scared to show because they're sure of their product. Something that Nintendo should honestly take a little note on. But nope, they just want to play it safe, because playing it safe ensures the money coming their way. Since at the end of the day, I'm still a fan of Zelda games because of how much I loved Wind Waker or Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, or the Game Boy Advance ones, I still hope that the game does well. But if the game does end up being delayed in the last minute, then yeah, we are heading for even more bad times. Long gone are the days of fun, challenging games. Now, if you want a challenge, we have to pay for it. And that's just not cool. So I honestly do hope that in 30 or 40 years from now, the top hits at Nintendo are no longer the ones that they have now, and instead, they have people that are passionate about the games they make, risk takers, willing to fight and to punch their fear away so that maybe we get a product that's not only good enough for beginners, but also good enough for veterans of the games that they have been playing for decades. Only one can wish for that. But yeah, could you imagine a Zelda that not only is challenging, but it also looks amazing? Filled with content, awesome side characters, awesome minigames, kind of like with Final Fantasy VII in the Golden Saucer. Breath of the Wild could have ended that game, but instead they just chose to be lazy and have a collectathon with the 900 Korok seeds, which led to nothing really. If you were to replay Breath of the Wild right now, I doubt you would collect everything the game has to offer, since you don't need to collect anything. All you really need is to do the 4 temples and then beat Ganon, and that's it. Once you play the game once, there really isn't a incentive to play again. Unlike Skyrim or Dark Souls, where you can just make a new character, new classes, or choose a different pathway. It's just something that the Zelda games have been lacking for a while. Which is why I love Twilight Princess, because it took a different approach and it did it well. That last fight with Ganon in that game felt amazing, and it's one of my happiest memories in a Zelda game, right next to saving the world from the moon in Termina in Majora's Mask. Hopefully I'm wrong, but then again, look, it's Nintendo, so let's not be too optimistic. And with that, well, I wish you all a good night, and thank you for watching.